Okay, this now says I'm live, which I'm going to believe. My mic is picking up like all noise I make on my computer, so I'm trying very hard to make no noise that is not my voice. But if you hear loud clacking sounds, that is probably me accidentally hitting my keys or touching something. I might try a different mic tomorrow. We're going to work on it. So, hi, this is Shosh. If that's the first time you've heard me say that, that's how I pronounce it. I know it's not intuitive. I hope everyone's doing okay. We're not going to start up for a couple more minutes, but I figured I'd get the stream going, and Brit's in the other room on her computer, and I'm going to have to close the door probably soon. I think, again, we're on a slight delay, so I don't know if it's started for her yet or if she's got it quiet enough. I don't know. It's a mystery. This is all very new. She just came in and gave me a thumbs up. It was very cute. The cats are now out of this room, so she also closed the door. Uh, yeah. So I hope everyone's doing as well as they can be under the circumstances. We're doing pretty well here. Britt and I are both working from home, so we haven't left much in the last couple weeks, which is not the worst for us as deeply introverted homebodies, but also very weird. I think it's weird for the cats. They're not necessarily loving having us at home or liking it at all, really. But, they're living with it. Been doing a lot of, like, group video chats with people I haven't talked to in years, so that's kind of nice. The upsides of the global pandemic. So yeah, I hope everyone, whoever's listening, I'm not actually paying attention, which I think is probably good for me, is doing okay. I will be reading, as you can hopefully tell by the screenshot, the Llama Bellamy fic. It seemed like a good one to kick off with, and we'll sort of see how it goes and if I want to do it more, if other people want me to do it more. I used to read aloud a lot for like school, but I haven't in a while, so hopefully I'm still know what's going on. I'll be doing it from my phone to reduce the clacking from my laptop, so again, this one we're sort of winging it. It's gonna be weird, which is also why it makes sense to use the Llama Bellamy fic. Like, I can only do so much to it. It's already weird enough. Sorry for that silence. I'm going to be awkward. I assume y'all are prepared for that. Like, what you know about me as a person, you're probably expecting this. You know, I would hope that you saw that one coming. I also kind of lisp. That's a fun fact. So I'm just going to give it, a couple minutes, let people filter in if they so desire. I really am winging this. I had to set up all the streaming software today. I thought it would be really simple, you just download YouTube and it's very intuitive, but you have to download other programs and all those influencer kids make it look so easy, but this is when we realize that I am an old. And I am taking a break from watching High School Musical 2 and playing Animal Crossing in case you were worried that Britt and I would not be deeply on brand in this time. Animal Crossing's great. I love it. I've been playing it basically all the time, to the surprise of no one. High School Musical 2 is also great, but, we all already knew that. That has been known for many years. We did watch High School Musical 1 first, so we will probably be completing the trilogy in order. And then it's just a matter of whether or not we watch the Sharpay one, whatever it's called, with the weird dog romance. I guess we are in a quarantine situation, so we'll have time to watch all of them so many times. The word count on this one, for the record, is about 3,600. I also wanted to pick a shorter one to sort of get an idea of how long it would take, and if I do want to read longer things and sort of break them up into chunks, what size chunks would be good, etc., etc. Again, this might actually go nowhere, but we had some interest, and it's pretty low effort for me, aside from my general anxiety as a human being. And I guess having to lock myself in the guest room while Britt and the cats hang out outside. That's kind of nice. My friend Steve came over and put together a daybed for us, so it's actually sort of a real room in here as opposed to a closet where we store all the stuff for the cats, as it previously had been. And they're scratching at the door, so why don't we get started before they break in? So, once again, I am Shosh. Since we're not on Archive of Our Own, here's a disclaimer that I don't own any of these characters. I guess I own the situations, but I don't own these characters, blah, blah, blah. I'm not profiting off this. It's been a long time since I did one of these. This is, once again, by all accounts, it doesn't make sense. A 3,600 word fanfic about Bellamy turning into a llama, with thanks to my friend Liz, who made me write it so many years ago. He says he won't talk to anyone but you, says Miller. He better not have an STD, Clark grumbles, juggling her phone on her shoulder as she unlocks the door. She just worked a fucking death shift at the hospital. She's exhausted, and she's about ready to murder someone. Given there's always about a 50% chance she wants to murder Bellamy, she is not optimistic about this situation. He wouldn't come out of his room at all, she asks. Not while I was there. He made me call into work for him, says Miller. He said he was too sick to use his phone. I would have pushed harder, but I had to go to work too, so can you deal with it? Clark sighs and runs her hand through her hair. Yeah, of course. Thanks for the heads up. Get back to work. She hangs up the phone and raps on Bellamy's door. If he's sick, he might be asleep, but she's pissed at him, so it's pretty much impossible to care. Bellamy, are you dead? I wish. What is it, flu? She tries the door and finds it's not locked at least. You better be wearing clothes. I'm not. Too late, she says, and prepares to avert her eyes. But before she can, she sees a fucking llama in the middle of his room, just hanging out, being a llama. And then the llama says, yeah, I'm pretty sure you don't want to check me out right now. In Bellamy's voice. Clark is a seasoned medical professional. She works in an ER. She has seen some shit. So she does not faint. But she does fall against his door. Bellamy, what the fuck? Did you steal a llama to punk me? Please tell me you didn't buy a llama just to punk me, because if you don't make rent because you spent all your money on a fucking llama, I will murder you. Why would I buy a llama? The llama asks. That's not even a good prank. I woke up this morning and was just, fuck. I was like this. One morning, when Bellamy Blake woke from troubled dreams, he found himself transformed in his bed into, look, princess, as hot as I find it when you reference classic literature, can you help me out here? Clark approaches the llama slowly, because she's still not convinced Bellamy isn't hiding under his bed, making the llama move its mouth like it's talking, because she has no idea why he would do that, but it seems more likely than spontaneously turning into a fucking llama. The llama watches her as she gets closer, and she hesitantly touches its head. It's soft. What is this proving exactly? Bellamy or the llama asks. It leans into her hand like it wants to be petted. Clark absently scratches it. I don't know. Seriously, why would I ever try to convince you I turned into a llama if it wasn't true? Why would I take a sick day to do that? It's a fair question, but she doesn't really believe him until she sees his bed is actually broken. What the hell happened to your bed? I woke up a llama, he says. I broke it trying to get up. Clark's legs give out, and she slumps down onto the remains of his bed with a whoof. Holy shit, are you actually a fucking llama? Yeah, says Bellamy. He butts her with his head. And I need help. I'm hungry and thirsty, and we need to fix it. We? You're a doctor. Yeah, I'm a doctor. I was in medical school for 10 billion years, and none of my classes ever touched on my fucking asshole roommate turned into a llama. Can't you just adapt what you learned in my estranged brother turned into an alpaca? He asks, butting her again. Thought you were smart. I'm gonna get you some water, she says. Do you know what llamas eat? Grass, probably, he says miserably. And I bet they can't metabolize alcohol. Probably not, she agrees. And honestly, the last thing I want to deal with is a drunk llama. Water break. Clark moved into Nathan Miller and Bellamy Blake's small suburban house a year ago, after Bellamy's sister moved in with her boyfriend, and they had a bedroom open up. Bellamy's sister was a friend of a friend, and it seemed like a great idea. It was cheaper than her old place, closer to the hospital, and Octavia was nice, so it couldn't be too bad, right? Now, watching Bellamy the llama in the backyard munching on their lawn, she thinks that the rent might not be worth it. She brings a bowl of water out for him and sits down in the grass. Why didn't you tell Miller? He needed to go to work. From anyone else, Clark would assume it was a lie, but Bellamy can't help looking out for the people he cares about, and Miller is one of the people he cares about most. He wouldn't want to worry him. I was hoping we'd figure it out before we got home, says Bellamy, lapping up some water. Have you pissed off any old witches who are trying to steal your throne? Do you need to go on a life-affirming Mesoamerican adventure where you learn not to be a dick? She thinks Bellamy's glaring at her, but it's hard to tell. She's never had a llama glare at her before. Emperor's New Groove reference? Really? Dude, you're a fucking llama. I think I showed a lot of restraint not making an Emperor's New Groove reference earlier. Yeah, okay, says Bellamy. He spits. Grass tastes fucking awful. As far as I know, no one slipped me a llama roofie. I haven't had any suspicious dinner parties with scary old ladies and hunky young idiots. I haven't done anything weird. Nothing? Did you eat anything different or... Fuck, I don't know. What makes a guy turn into a llama? If I knew, I would tell you, says Bellamy. Fuck. We're gonna have to tell Miller. At least it's Friday. We've got a whole weekend to figure it out. Clark rubs her eyes. She worked a 24-hour shift. Or 20-hour shift. That's better. So she actually does have a real weekend to recover. She's about ready to collapse. How did this become my problem? She asks. Bellamy butts her with his head again. It's his main form of communication, and it's actually kind of cute. She's not planning to tell him that. I can't pay rent if I'm a llama. Yeah, but you're a talking llama who used to be human, she points out. That's gotta be something we can monetize. There's a long pause, and she realizes he's seriously considering it. Oh my god, do not try to make money off being a talking llama. Someone will probably try to dissect you or something. It's sweet of you to worry. She yawns into her arm. Well, you're a fucking llama. Point. He nudges her again. Go to sleep. I'll be fine out here. It's warm. Yeah, she says. I'll set an alarm, so I'm awake when Miller gets back. Good idea. There's another pause, and he says, Thanks, Clark. Well, if you can't trust your roommates to help you when you get turned into a llama, who can you trust? He makes a noise that she assumes is a laugh. Exactly. Get some sleep. You cannot be serious, says Miller. He's looking at Clark, presumably because he doesn't want to look at the talking llama that's claiming to be his best friend. You guys are fucking with me. Why would I pretend to be a llama? I already went over this with Clark. It's the stupidest prank ever. Part of some dumb plan to impress her, Miller suggests. Clark chooses to ignore him. Miller, says Bellamy, all seriousness. I'm not fucking with you. I'm a fucking llama and I had to shit in our yard. This is the worst fucking day of my life. Can we try to figure something out? Miller looks at Clark again. He really isn't, she says. He broke his bed. She sits down on the grass next to Bellamy, checking first to make sure there's nothing there since he's apparently been shitting in the yard. Which makes sense, but she'd rather not interact with it. I googled my roommate turned into an animal, which didn't hit anything good, and then I read some Wikipedia articles about shapeshifting. Then I checked if Emperor's New Groove was on Netflix, which it is, so I vote we watch for that, for ideas. This was what you meant when you said you were doing research? Bellamy asks, sounding vaguely disgusted. I also looked at your food in the fridge. Good job, Ace. Miller rubs his face. Have you tried kissing him? What? Asks Bellamy, at the same time Clark asks, me? Miller shrugs. That's what they do in fairy tales, right? Someone gets transformed, a kiss is the cure, right? Why am I doing it? Clark asks. You could do it. No one is kissing me, says Bellamy firmly. Fine, stay a llama. Miller looks at Clark. Want to get drunk and watch Emperor's New Groove until we feel better? Yes, she says, instantly. I hate you guys. Clark is pretty sure they were all just hoping they'd wake up in the morning and Bellamy wouldn't be a llama, or the entire day would have just been a fucked up dream, or something. And the next morning, Bellamy is still a llama, and she and Miller are hungover. Now what? Asks Miller. Clark rubs her face. I have no idea. They try some more Google searches, trying to hit on a list of things that have been traditionally used to cure animal transformation. But if such a list exists, they're not having any luck finding it. So they throw a bucket of water on him, just in case that's a thing. Clark performs some sort of exorcism ritual she finds online, once Bellamy's corrected the shitty Latin, and Miller loses rock, paper, scissors and has to call Octavia. Maybe I should kiss you, Clark remarks. It couldn't hurt, right? Pretty sure I don't have any skills when I'm llama, he says. Don't want to let you down. She rolls her eyes. Yeah, that was my worry too. Your sister thinks I'm having a psychotic episode and is coming over, Miller announces, coming back outside. Bellamy sighs. Yeah, that's definitely going to help. Have you thought about being less of a dick? Octavia asks, after the now standard you have got to be shitting me period. I'm already a fucking llama, says Bellamy, miserable. Do we really have to kick me while I'm down? Come on, whenever someone turns into an animal, it's because they have to learn to be a less shitty person. I'm not a shitty person. You're not, says Clark soothingly. But you can be abrasive. That's actually the nicest thing you've ever said to me. Did you sleep with a girl and not call her recently? Octavia asks, clearly getting impatient with him. Octavia doesn't like being idle, and Clark has to admit the rest of them are being pretty useless. You're going to have to be more specific, says Miller. I haven't, actually, Bellamy says. Not in a while. He flicks his ears. I didn't sleep with a girl a couple days ago, I guess. She was really into it and I turned her down. There you go, says Octavia. Please tell me our leading theory isn't Bellamy didn't fuck a witch, says Miller. Do you have another leading theory? Asks Octavia. Come on, Bellamy, says Clark, patting his neck consolingly. Always fuck the witch. That's like not getting turned into a llama 101. Thanks, Dr. Asshole. As it turns out, having a leading theory doesn't help that much, because really, Bellamy doesn't know the girl's name, and even if they did, going up to a strange woman whose only connection to any of them is having flirted with Bellamy at a bar and asking if she's a witch isn't really okay. Even if their best guess is that she's a witch and decided to curse him. If she isn't a witch, she'll probably call the cops, and if she is a witch, she'll probably turn them all into llamas. Did Clark kiss you? Octavia asks. They ordered some pizza for lunch, and Bellamy is munching on grass in a distinctly bitter way. Being a llama is probably really, really terrible. Why does everyone keep asking that? Says Clark. Well, I'm not going to kiss him, says Octavia. And Miller probably isn't going to kiss him. I kissed him in college, says Miller. I did my time already. That kiss ruined you for men for other years. That kiss ruined you for other men for years, says Bellamy. It rocked your entire universe. Anyway, kisses always fix stuff, says Octavia. Clark rips up little handfuls of grass until Bellamy bumps her hand with his head, and she switches over to scratching him instead. The thing she can't help thinking is that in all the stories, it's not kisses that fix stuff. It's love, and she's not sure if Octavia and Miller forgot, or they know that and are not mentioning it because Bellamy hasn't really mentioned that he likes her. But it's getting increasingly hard to deny that he does, and Miller knows, and Octavia probably knows. Really, everyone but her probably knows, and she might have known too somewhere. But it was easier not knowing because she didn't have to think about how she felt about him. She's not kissing me, Bellamy is saying. I don't know how much clearer I can be about this. Belle, Octavia starts, but Clark cuts her off. Can you guys maybe go try to find I don't know, do we have psychics, fortune tellers, weird new age stores that seem like they could be covers for witches, like in Buffy the Vampire Slayer? Any of that stuff? Miller gives her a calculating look, but must decide that it's okay because he says, sure, we can do that, and drags Octavia and the pizza inside. Clark scratches Bellamy behind his ears, which is really, really weird, but he seems to enjoy it. You know, if you don't stop being a llama, you're not going to get to kiss me anyway, so it seems kind of stupid to veto it because you don't have game. I might have game. You're a llama. There's not enough game in the world. There's a pause, and then he says, and when I'm not a llama? Bellamy Blake can be annoying and really arrogant. He's stummered, he's argumentative, and he always thinks he's right. But he's also, well, Bellamy. And she really does kind of... I don't know, she says. I guess we'll find out when you're not a llama. Conveniently, that's when he stops being a llama. Clark realizes it when she finds her fingers rubbing against skin, not fur, and she jumps back. Bellamy falls over because he's kind of weirdly bounced on all fours, and then turns bright red because he's naked in the grass and she's staring at him. What the fuck, princess? He says, scrambling to cover himself up. What? What did you do? I don't know. And then, because she's compelled to be honest for some ungodly reason, she admits, I guess I might have learned a lesson about feelings. He stares at her, wide-eyed and hopeful and still distractingly naked. What about them? Shut up, Bellamy, she grumbles. And then he kisses her. She just lets it happen for a second, and then she throws her arms around him and kisses back, and it's going really well until she slides her tongue into his mouth. Oh God, you've got to brush your teeth. Llama Mouse's growth. Llama Mouse's growth. There are too many sounds in that I cannot pronounce back to back, so sorry. I kissed him, she tells Miller and Octavia, while Bellamy's brushing his teeth and getting dressed, and taking advantage of having opposable thumbs. He's probably going to actually make her say that she admitted to herself that she was kind of in love with him, but there's no way she's telling Miller and Octavia that. Yes, says Octavia. That's what always does it. How'd you convince him? Asks Miller. I told him I'd do it again when he turned back. Octavia squeals and launches herself at Clark for a hug, which is kind of a lot to take in right now, but she hugs back anyway. I knew it! Yeah, says Clark, petting Octavia's back awkwardly. Everyone knew it. I didn't, Bellamy grumbles as he comes down the stairs. He's wearing clothing again, which she's now willing to admit is kind of a disappointment. But it's probably not going to last forever. Now, if you guys don't mind, we could use some privacy. Octavia groans. You called me over to help and now you're kicking me out? Pretty much. Miller lives here. Bellamy fishes out his wallet and gives them the 20. Go see a movie. Movies cost more than Octavia starts, but Miller gives Bellamy a quick salute and drags her off. Clark hears her yell, See if I ever help you again, Belle, and can't help a smile. Bellamy turns on her, all intensity, and she's expecting another kiss, but all he says is, Who the hell did you piss off to get me turned into a llama, princess? That was some weird timing. Sorry for my commentary, but I can't help it. So, are you a witch? Clark's college roommate, Raven, is her main outlet for complaining about Bellamy. She's woman enough to admit that it started with valid complaints when she first moved in, and turned into thinly veiled, I really want to jump in, but I'm bad at dealing with my feelings pretty quickly, as Raven was more than happy to point out. If anyone, aside from Bellamy himself, has gotten fed up with Clark not making out with Bellamy, it's definitely Raven. What? You're asking me if I'm a witch, Griffin? After all these years? After all we've been through? That's not a no, Clark says, rubbing her face. Bellamy raises his eyebrows, and she puts Raven on speakerphone. It's also not witches aren't real, which is what I would expect if you weren't a witch who turned my roommate into a llama. Raven cackles. She's always cackled a lot. Maybe that was a sign. He turned into a llama? Yeah, thanks for that, Bellamy grumbles. Hey, lover boy, you better? Yeah. So you should probably be thanking me. There's a pause while Raven collects herself and stops laughing. Seriously, it was an accident. Try not to be obvious about it, or everyone would know about witches, but I messed up the Latin a little. Don't drink and divine, kids. And they should probably have a longer conversation about this, but after the weekend she's had, Clark isn't really in the mood to try to figure out Raven's exact occult history. Please never turn anyone I love into an animal ever again. Or an inanimate object. Anything, actually. Let's not turn anyone into anything. I was gonna call you, says Raven. You know, to help. Soon. I'm gonna drive down there and murder you, says Clark. Cool, I miss you. Definitely come visit. Clark glances at Bellamy. He doesn't look permanently scarred by his non-human experiences, although he seems a little dazed. But when he catches her eye, he grins like the sun coming up. Yeah, she says. See you soon. After she hangs up, Bellamy takes her face in his hands and kisses her again, tasting like mint and smelling like soap. Clark climbs into his lap without totally meaning to, and he's got her shirt half unbuttoned by the time she realizes they haven't really talked much. We should be freaked out about this, right? You said I was someone you love, he says, like this is the only important thing that came out of a conversation where she learned her former roommate was a witch. And that's kind of cool, really. And if she ever does that again, I'm going to drive down and murder her. Sounds good, says Clark, and takes his shirt off. Bellamy shows up at her door when she's getting ready for bed, dressed in just his pajama pants and wearing his glasses. Clark should maybe send Raven something really, really nice. So, my bed is broken. Can I borrow yours? She lets out a surprised laugh. That is such a shitty pickup line. He grins. You're already picked up. I figured I could stop putting effort in. Good attitude, says Clark. She jerks her head toward the bed. You better not turn into anything else tonight. If we break my bed, I'm pretty sure Miller's not going to let us share with him. Bellamy flops down, stretching out happily. If we break your bed, it's not going to be because I turned into something, he says with a cocky smile, and she has to laugh. They end up just moving her bed into his room since it's bigger and getting another roommate. It's a lot cheaper than buying a new bed. His name is Monty, and it only takes a few weeks for Bellamy to ask Clark if Raymond can do something about him and Miller. Clark is pretty sure Miller's more competent than she is, so she figures they'll give him a few months before they try anything drastic. Okay, and that's the fic. According to my live stream, it's been like, 20 minutes or so, 25 minutes. I know that I have a more exact count, but I know I didn't start when the live stream started, so yeah. I hope everyone who came in here enjoyed our first, and possibly only, but probably just first, episode experience of me live streaming. I'm going to try to get better at it. It's been, like I said, a while since I read aloud, and definitely I need a lot of water in my life. And I should also probably read it once before to familiarize myself with how words work. But yeah, I had fun. I hope y'all had fun. We're going to be done for now, but, I'm on Tumblr. If you enjoyed it, you could or could not let me know. I don't know. This is all very weird. It's a weird time. Like I said, I hope everyone's doing okay. Hope y'all are safe and happy wherever you are, or at least safe, and that everyone's doing well. I will see you whenever I see you, or I guess speak to you whenever I speak to you. Whatever. I'm real good at this, as you can tell. Bye, y'all.